Emily Long, age 34, was married to Ryan Long, age 48. Dr. Ryan Long was a licensed school psychologist and board-certified behavioral analyst. He worked as a school psychologist for Oyster River Cooperative School District. He also worked part-time as an adjunct instructor for the Plymouth State University graduate program. He was a graduate of the University of New Hampshire, and later obtained his master's in mental health counseling, as well as his Doctor of Psychology from the University of Southern Maine. He is a past president of the New Hampshire Association of School Psychologists. Ryan put his family first in every situation. He doted on his children. He loved to garden, golf with friends, and play competitive hockey. Recently, in April of 2025, he was diagnosed with glioblastoma, an aggressive and often fatal brain tumor. Ryan was also an accomplished musician. He wrote and recorded his own album with original songs in his early 20s, and played at numerous live shows around New Hampshire. He has previously worked for Sony Pictures prior to moving back to New Hampshire. Emily is the director of operations for Wingits, a chicken wing restaurant company with several locations across New Hampshire. The business is owned by Derek Fisher. Emily graduated from the University of New Hampshire Hospitality Management Program. Emily lived with her husband and 3 children at their home at 14 Moherimet Drive, in Madbury, New Hampshire. Madbury is an upper-middle class to wealthy neighborhood. It is a quiet village in Strafford County. It's situated in southeastern New Hampshire and bordered by the cities of Durham, Dover, Lee, and Barrington. Although it sits at the center of a commercialized location, the town itself has kept its rural charm. Madbury has a population of just under 2,000 citizens. The couple has a son, Parker, age 8, a daughter, Emma, age 6, and a toddler that will remain unnamed due to privacy reasons. On Emily's TikTok page she described herself as a New Hampshire mother of 3 whose husband was battling brain cancer. There's over 80 videos of Emily talking about her husband's illness, his treatments, and how it affected him and the family, and sometimes how it depressed her. The name of her TikTok was New Hampshire Mom of 3, Brain Cancer Wife, My Digital Diary, It's Cheaper Than Therapy. On her TikTok she describes how drinking alcohol, having a community on TikTok, and excessive shopping is all the therapy she needs.
Today, I am adjusting my perspective and I'm making a point to get out of my depression and do this for my family.
Emily admitted on social media that she had a shopping addiction. She also joked that being on a budget should be a crime against humanity. Emily's boss, Derek Fisher, who owns the restaurant chain where Emily worked, was notified by his bookkeeper that there was some huge discrepancies on the books. Over $600,000 was missing. Numerous handwritten checks showed as deposited into Emily Long's bank account, and missing deposits that Emily was known to be in charge of. Instead of notifying the police right away, her boss spoke to Emily to see if she could explain, but she had no answers. He asked her for copies of her past 3 months of bank statements. On August 5 she turned over copies of her bank statements to Fisher. He reviewed the bank statements, then contacted the bank because something did not add up. The bank confirmed that the bank statements were doctored. Fisher still did not contact authorities right away. He gave Emily another chance to explain herself. He asked Emily to go to the bank with him on August 11 so they could go through her financials together with bank officials. Emily did not show up for the meeting on August 11. Instead she sent him a text message with 3 options: she resigns, works remotely, or he fires her. That evening Fisher notified local police about the situation and an investigation was opened. On August 12, Fisher received another text from Long saying simply that she was sorry. This wasn't Emily's first time being accused of stealing large sums of money. In 2016 she was accused of stealing $11,000 that disappeared from a previous employer of hers. She was facing forgery charges, but the case was dropped when the business shut down. After Emily's resignation, she immediately updated her LinkedIn page that she was looking for a job. On Monday, August 18, just 1 week after Emily resigned from her job, a 911 call came in reporting that there were bodies inside the Longs' home. When police arrived, they discovered the bodies of Emily, her husband Ryan, and 2 of their 3 children deceased. The toddler and family dogs were found in the home unharmed. According to news reports, the toddler waited in his crib all day while the rest of his family were dead in the other rooms. Chief Medical Examiner Genevieve Duval conducted autopsies on the family, and determined that Ryan Long's death was the result of multiple gunshot wounds, and his cause of death was homicide. Emily's cause of death was a single gunshot wound of the head, and her manner of death was ruled suicide. Both children's deaths were single gunshot injuries to the head, and their manner of death was homicides. A press release from police said, based upon the information available at this time, it appears that in the early morning hours of Monday, August 18, 2025, Ms. Long took a handgun from the home, and caused the deaths of Ryan Long and her 2 children, Parker and Emma, and then took her own life immediately thereafter. While investigators are becoming aware of various concerns and issues ongoing in the household at the time of the event in question, people should avoid speculating that this event was caused by a single reason or stressor. After the murders, the embezzlement was further investigated. It was discovered Emily had been embezzling money from her current employer for over 2 years. Authorities do not believe the cancer diagnosis played a role in the embezzlement because it started at least 2 years prior to the illness.
Be subpoenaing bank records. We'll be talking to forensic accountants to try to figure out where the funds went, whose accounts they went into, what the funds were actually spent on. If it got into kind of more of the modern stuff, Cash Apps, Venmos, and it also it can take time to get information back from those sources.
Emily's employer said that Emily did shop excessively. He said, "There was probably not a time that I didn't come into my restaurant and see Amazon packages with her name on it. There was definitely that going on." According to Fisher, Long was in charge of collecting the money from all the restaurants, then depositing them in the bank. However, instead of depositing the money, she began taking it for herself as early as 2023. He states she also began writing checks to herself out of the company's bank accounts. Fisher said the theft went undetected, partially because his company's main goal at the time was expansion of their restaurant chain. He said, "Am I embarrassed that this happened to me? Absolutely. But this is somebody that had worked for me for several years. I trusted her immensely." Fisher has stated publicly that he will not come after the estate for his funds because the surviving toddler doesn't need anything else taken from him.
I'm still kind of in shock. I don't really believe that, this sort of thing could have happened, or she was capable of doing something like that. Until July this year, there was over $660,000 that were taken from my businesses, from cash deposits and checks written to herself, because she's the only one that had access to any of this money. I felt like I had no other option but to go to law enforcement. And we were still doing our investigating on our financial end, and looking deeper into how far this went back and, how much was taken. I don't want to make this about me because it's not about me. It's about this little boy that has no family anymore. And that is the story right here.
The community was overwhelmed with grief and anger over Emily's decision to murder her own children.
I'm gutted. I am absolutely gutted what she did. As a mother, no child should ever have to lose their life at the hands of a mom. What she did to her employees, that's on her. 100% on her. But she should not be taking her children's lives because she chose to be a thief.
Heart-wrenching thing for this community to, go through what it went through recently.
The New Hampshire Assistant Attorney General Benegati spoke to reporters.
I think the impact for the community it's just trauma. It's absolute trauma. Having gunfire and that this event occurs in a short time period right at 5:30 in the morning. Not until 8:20 that there are individuals who are over to try to make contact with people and end up calling 911. That time in between are things that we're still working on.
A candlelight vigil was held on Thursday, August 20th for the community to gather and support one another, and show honor to the victims.
We're grieving for a tragedy that we'll never understand, for children who will not grow up.
A neighbor, Bevy Level, spoke to reporters about the loss.
They're heading into school in a week or so, and so many unanswered questions. The father was a school psychologist. He worked at the high school. He recently has been at the middle school, just very instrumental. The mom, grew up in our neighborhood and came back to our neighborhood with her family. No matter how strong you are and how everybody knows everybody, we don't know, many times we don't know what's someone's personal struggle.
The surviving 3-year-old toddler is being cared for by relatives. Emily Long's TikTok appeared to be a mother trying to juggle work, children and a husband with brain cancer. However, under the surface it appears Emily was secretly embezzling hundreds of thousands of dollars from her unsuspecting boss. After numerous tries by her boss to get to the bottom of the situation, it became clear that she was the thief. After contacting authorities, it's clear that instead of facing prison time, she decided to end it all. Sadly, she took her family with her, sparing only the youngest. It's unclear why she spared the toddler. Evidence shows her habits of stealing goes back many years. Behind the mask of grief and family, she was a chronic shopper, thief and murderer. It's sad that these young, innocent children died because their mother cared more about material things than them. Hopefully the 3-year-old can get therapy, and grow up in a loving home. May Ryan, Parker and Emma rest in peace. That concludes this episode. Keep your eye out for the next volume, coming soon. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing. Thanks for watching.